Actually, this is also live on Facebook, so hello world. Where are you from, my dear?
I'm from Uganda.
Uganda?
Yeah.
Oh, I've known many people from Uganda and worked with some of them. I visit, I want to come to Africa. I love Africa.
Oh.
I love Africa's in my heart.
You're welcome.
Africa's in my heart. Africa actually is the heart of the world, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's from the love in our hearts.
Yeah. I love it because you love Christ.
You love what?
You love Christ.
Christ. My name is Christoph, right? Or Christoph. There's this thing about Christoph getting pissed off. We all have that when we get angry.
Oh.
We get upset. Then in German we say, man wird böse. Böse in German is evil, when you get evil. There's evil in all of us, right? And there's also love in all of us. Well, I would say about Christ, that's an interesting thing. And also about God, which I've come to find, has nothing to do with religion. God is love. Love is everything.
For us, it's about relationship.
Right, but you know what? Relationship, it's when people also say, oh, your relationship to God or your relationship to Christ. I think the key is the relationships we have with each other and the relationship we have with ourselves. For the kingdom lies within. The journey to the promised land leads within.
Yeah.
The enemy, who are we fighting in this world? Who's the enemy really? We're fighting, fighting. Even in our personal life, we argue with people, and give always reason to always blame others. It's easy to blame others, right?
Yeah.
Right. There's a saying, when you point fingers, when you blame somebody, you point finger, right? When you point a finger, 3 fingers point back at you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it, because it's easy to point fingers, right? That blame game, I think, needs to stop. And I think another word, which I think it's not related to blame, but that's the key word, is responsibility. We're all responsible.
Yes.
We're all responsible. Nobody else is responsible to do what's happening in this world. We in a way have created the world exactly the way it is, we human beings. We are all children of God. We have all been thrown out of paradise. The beginning of human history, our birth is that. And then we became part of this world, where those in power, be it in Africa or in Germany or in America or wherever, those in power, right? Everyone has a boss and they have 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 a boss, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And ultimate power corrupts. But I think also this is a really exciting time for us to find our inner power, our real power, because God is the power in us. We're all divine beings. We're all divine beings. God is, wow, and life is actually, it's a present, it's a gift. Just look at children. I've come to find children actually the greatest teacher, because children are true. Somebody told me a long time ago, when you look in the eyes of a child, you see God. Isn't that nice?
Maybe even Jesus talked about it.
Right, yeah. Well, Jesus, the Son of God, who was crucified because he was a threat to authority. And so he was killed. And before he died, I think the most important thing that we all should realize next time when we are confronted in a difficult situation, he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. And that's how it is. When people, and in Africa also, I don't know how it is where you are in Uganda. I was just talking to people in Liberia. There's a lot of evil. In the hearts of people, there's so much evil.
I think evil is all over, because we are in the world.
Right.
Being in this world, evil has to be around.
Right.
Because of the fall of Adam, so evil is compulsory.
Right, yeah, but I look at this different. You said the fall of Adam. What like one thing I said earlier, we all have a boss and they have a boss and they have a boss. We all have that in common. Another thing we all have in common, you know what that is? We all come from parents, and they 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 come from, and so it goes back to Adam and Eve, right?
Yes.
And so the downfall, you know, when we're thrown out of paradise, our eyes were opened. You know, because we ate from the tree of knowledge, which if we wouldn't have eaten from that tree, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. Christ is not separate from us. We are that. It's in our experience, because we all have been, as children, we all have been crucified. You know what I mean? Many times. We died many times against the standards of the world, even coming down from our parents who also fulfill their role in society. We all need to function. We all need to do what we are told so this world, the system can function. The system which is controlled by those in power, right? Who benefit from that, who even benefit from war. You know, war is business. Well, people go to church and pray to God. While even in Africa, you know, the pastors, many of them drive around with big cars, while their congregation, they are poor, right? And poor people go to church and even leave money there, give money to the church.
Chris, when we talk about things with Christ, we don't mention pastors, because we realize pastors are also human beings like us.
Right.
So they would want to experience everything like anyone else. But when we talk about God, we are looking at relationship, you know, like me and my parents, the relationship we have. So when we are looking at God, we are looking at that relationship He wanted us to have from the beginning of the creation. God wanted the pastors never looked at anything like that.
Right. The worldly things, right? You know, because they're conceived out of love. And that is paradise. It's actually not Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. It's Father, Mother, Child. It's paradise, right? But children then already grow up in a situation that is not very ideal. You know, and children learn about the world.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Yes.
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 So we become like we have God, but because we are not being brought up in the right way.
Yes.
Because of the surroundings.
Right. There's a beautiful saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And there are many people like you I know also who have their own organizations, even orphanages, and have their own schools and different things. And I'm trying to find a way to connect all of you.
Oh.
You can also exchange ideas and help each other and be supportive in different ways and really grow together. You know, because I really have the idea. The key is really unity. There's so many people like yourself doing great work. Just imagine if all of you work together. If you really unite, you know, and wow, that's also the idea behind Hearts, you know, to give people a sense of home, a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose.
Now, for me, how it all started, I have a brother who is in the same condition. He really inspired me to go for individuals like that.
Well, basically, that's also the idea. I think we're all here to help each other in this world.
You're right.
You know, we're here to help each other, but often we make it difficult because people also misunderstand.
So how long have you done that?
Well, I started working with the first person in Africa, you wouldn't believe it, in 2009.
You came to Africa?
I never did. I want to come, definitely.
So you have never been here?
Never been there. Never been there, but I want to go. I would definitely want to go. Yeah, I'm trying to take care of my mom. She's 91, right?
Yeah, my father passed on at 82.
Oh, he was 82. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was 80.
Okay. Yeah, but what is age? I'm saying I'm 58. I'm 58, but you wouldn't believe the age of my wife. I'm married again. The first woman I was married to was an African-American lady, but she lived in America. And I moved to America. I met her in Germany when I was 24. And 2 months after I met her in Germany, I moved to America. 1990, November of 1990, I met her. In January of 1991, I moved to America. In March of 1991, I got married to her. And I was married for 12 years. I had 3 children with her. She was 7 years older. Now I'm married again. My wife is, you wouldn't believe when I tell you her age.
What's her age?
She's very, very young. Actually, she's going to be next year. She's going to be 24.
Oh, wow.
Really? But she's a nurse. She's a learned nurse, a trained nurse and a midwife. And I think it would be wonderful to bring her to Africa where she could do volunteer work in a hospital and gain experience. It would be so good for her to have some good experience there to do work there.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's a new time. I like the idea of now because, you know, time is actually relative. Time doesn't really exist. The only place that really exists, the only place to be alive in is now. Now, you know, now is everything. Well, now is the future. I like that idea. Because if you think about that, children only know this place. They don't know tomorrow. When you tell children, oh, you got to wait until tomorrow, the children, no, well, now, everything is now to them. Because now is also new. Now is new. It's like we're speaking here now, you know, when people meet, it's like we learn. I've come to find, you know, we're all here to learn from and with one another. We can learn so much from each other. But what is really missing a lot, and you probably know this too, is listening. People don't listen. People only hear what they want to hear. But you know what I mean? People hear what they want to hear. You know, in German we say Wahrnehmung.
That time.
Wahrnehmung is perception. Wahrheit is truth. So what people perceive, to them, that's true. They don't know any different. And what you say to somebody and what somebody else hears are two different things, right? Because the greatest thing is to communicate with somebody when the other person really pays attention, is there, and is able to receive you openly, without any judgments or evaluations or things like that, or telling you then, oh, you should be doing this, or no, you should be doing that, but just be able to acknowledge the presence of another person, because the greatest gift is really the gift, the present of presence. Be present.
It is the truth. Usually we don't need judgment. Sometimes you want someone to just receive you the way you are.
That's right. That's the truth, right? Without judgment, I've come to find is the root of all evil. Because when we judge, we put ourselves higher, and we look down and you say, "Oh, we judge you like I'm a judge." And I'm like, who? Even Jesus is supposed to have said, "Those who are free of sin shall cast the first stone," right?
When you judge, it means you have put yourself in a place of God.
Yes. Yeah.
Then others.
When you put yourself, you know, yeah, right. You put yourself higher. You not only this, you put yourself in the place of, you create separation.
Yes.
And that's the problem. We judge, you know, it's like I use this and that, you know, that's creating separation, because actually the key is we need to unite, come together, not separate.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's not about who's right and who's wrong. That actually doesn't exist, because in a way everyone is right for themselves.
Chris,
yes,
I feel like in our conversation you're hinting so much about people uniting.
Right?
People uniting.
Yes.
You really desire for people to unite.
Yes, of course.
It's a big challenge.
Unity is key, right? Yeah, that's also, we need to come together. Community. Community.
Your vision of seeing people unite. Oh my God.
Right, well, but it's a vision. It's just a vision. The question is now, how can we get there? What can we do, you know, to bring people together?
I'm really seeing something big. Making people unite.
Right. No, I know, it's a wonderful thing, you know. I like it because, you know, unity, it's almost in the word community is unity. And it's through our communication we realize our common unity.
No.
That's the key, you know. We all got it from parents, and we're all human beings, right? How can we work together? How can we help each other? How can we understand each other? Because that's what we need, is understanding. There's Einstein, you know, Albert Einstein. He said, peace cannot be kept by force, but only achieved by understanding. You need to understand. You know, there's this thing about, you heard about that. Time is money, right?
Yeah.
But then again, what is money? Money, there's always more where that came from, right? But time, the moment, it goes by, and then it's followed by the next moment, and time is actually the most precious thing of them all, right? But then, like money, it's time is all about how we use it and that we use it. That's the key.
Okay.
We use it. Money is not really evil. Money is neutral, right? It all depends on how we use it. I like also the idea of creating Zoom or also on Facebook online fundraising for organizations, for like your organization, to bring people to that, to do fundraising, but not just fundraising with a D, but also fundraising. You know what I mean? Fundraising. Everybody wants to have fun, right?
Yes. You know, with our organization, that is what I was looking at in the beginning.
What's the name of the organization?
It's called Ngoli Devlopment Initiative. Yes.
Oh, okay. I like that.
So it means hope.
Hope.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So I was looking at making these people feel the fun others can feel.
Right, yeah.
Feel that fun, like, yes, I'm in this condition, but I can also be happy. I can also live my life. That was my idea.
That's wonderful. I love that. That's really, because that's where it starts, right? Education.
Yeah. Yes.
You know? Yes. You know that. Wow. So many great people like yourself. I mean, we just take our time here, right? And that's the thing also about being home. It's like it's comfortable, right? It's a good feeling. You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? You know, communication is really an art. To speak a language other people can understand. You know, that's why I like the communication also heart to heart. When we connect heart to heart, we know. Instant connection, like instant karma, you know? That's the thing when we love each other. When you are in love, you know that, right?
When you're forcing it, it is also...
Well, you can't force it. Because with children, many times we're trying to force it. We're trying to force them into our world instead of like being part of their world, getting into their world, because children show us a world we cannot even see. Because they're connected with spirits. They're connected with God. Absolutely.
They can see spiritually.
Yes, I know. They see things we're not even aware of. To be honest, Mother Earth is not doing very well. She's very sick. Oh. Very sick, Mother Earth.
Sorry.
You know? Yeah, it is. I mean, and we carry all this sickness, you know, because all this war, all this poverty, all this injustice, right? And if you even look at the entertainment, television, how people are distracted, people are fighting, you know, each other while war is business. We have created that, but we are now, I think also, and that's so a humbling experience. We're now here to create a new world.
Yeah.
You know, the new world is us. Definitely. You know, because the old system, it's not working. Come to find a lot of people in Africa come to me. They always come to me with issues. And especially they come to me with needs. They tell me, Christoph, we need this, and Christoph, can you do this? And they talk and they talk and they tell me things. But you know what? They don't listen. They can't listen. They can't listen because they always have an issue. They always come with issues, right? They're not even in the mindset. And I can believe it. I was thinking about that, how it is when somebody's hungry. And there are many people I know who are really poor, many orphans who have nothing. They're struggling day by day. If it's like this, you cannot even think straight. You know? Yeah. These are the basics. So we need to find a way how we meet the basic needs of people. To get them into the mindset of really what I would like to do is to start a school in Africa. You know, where people really learn that. Right? That's the thing about unity. When we work together, we change this world. And when you said you can't make the whole world happy, it's not about that. Even if you just reach one person, right? And they reach another person, it becomes like a domino effect, right? We human beings, we were made to create. We were made to create. You know what the problem is? We learned to serve. the system. We learn to obey authority outside of us. And authority is actually, that's the real virus. You know, because power corrupts. You know that, especially in Africa, even in Uganda, I'm sure, even here in Germany, it's terrible.
Yes.
You know, what's happening in this world, you know, and then people are being played against each other, people hate each other, people fight each other, you know, while the rich get richer. You know?
You're right.
You know, and that's why even when Samson said, oh, look here, there you can make a little money, it's not about money. It's about love. You know, out of love, everything springs. You know, that's really where we realize our real wealth, you know, our real value. The issue of young women getting pregnant and just sex, and bringing children into the world, right? They cannot even feed themselves, but they bring children into the world. So we need to, like, that's important to get the message across. You know, it's like really, that's something sacred. That's why the idea, very simple at heart, is a school. And in a school we learn, but it's a different kind of school.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different, because we're just beginning to be here to learn, to see basically what we are here to learn and how we can learn that. You know, we're really paying attention to each other and showing respect and kindness and love to one another, which is really, most people don't even know what that is. Most of these young kids, I know these orphan boys and girls, they have probably seen, you know, they're Liberian, they went after the civil war to Ghana. Some of them have seen their parents got killed during the war, right? In front of their eyes. Horrible things. We need to all open up, and that's really dear to my trauma centers for these guys, you know, in different parts of Africa. We can do that. It's not even about money, right? You know, we've got to bring a lot of people to that. They, like, you know, when, you know, many of them come to me, they want to go to school, they need money. Please help me with money for my children to school. I think to myself, why don't you, the elders in your own community, organize something to educate your children? You know, because the thing is also, the reality is, even if children go to school, to a public school, not many of them will get jobs. Not many of them, right? You know, and the idea is really also, and that's behind hearts. You know, the first person I met, I helped her. I had a little money back then. It was only 1,000 or so I sent her. She opened up a business selling safe drinking water on the refugee camp. And she could support herself with that money. And she could even support her daughter and some other people, right? That's really the idea. You don't need to go to school and hope to get a job. I mean, to learn, that's the key. We all are here to learn, you know, but starting a business, that's the key. That's the only way to become self-supportive, to develop skills training centers. Those things need to open up, right? And there are many people who are rare and who are willing to educate. What we need, we need the structure. We need to develop that, you know. We need to get people to work. We need to organize that. And again, also, I'm here to help, you know, as, you know, to at the beginning to create this school, you know. Also, I'm here to share what I've learned, because I have found my inner teacher. I've learned a lot in life, as you might know, as you might feel that. I hated school as a child. I hated it. I was the worst student ever. Nobody could tell me anything. You know, when my dad was a very strict man. He was always like this. When he told me I have to do something, you know what I told him as a child? Guess what? I told him I don't have to do anything. The only thing I have to die, and one day I'll die anyway. I told my dad. Can you believe that? It was always a free spirit, you know? And I think in a way we all are that. You know, we're all free. We were born free. You know, then we become part of this world, you know, and yeah. It's always also a question. None of them have ever really experienced a healthy, good relationship with a woman. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Very few of them. I mean, even if you look around here in the West, it's very rare. People go from relationship to relationship. At first, I always thought it's interesting when people meet and they fall in love. They're really nice to each other and everything is wonderful, right? But after a while, something happens, you know, and things can change. And people who once loved each other can start hating each other.
We call it lust.
But also going back to education, educating your people is like, hey, there's much more to it, right? It's a sacred thing. And especially women, the body of a woman, right, where a child can grow. Oh my gosh, you know. But many of these guys don't care because they've never seen that from their parents, disrespect. And they have gone through war, they've gone through trauma, so they don't care. You know, many of them. I know a guy I worked with, he was part of a gang, the Blood Gang. You ever heard of them? Yeah, all across Africa. They have different territories, and they say this is our territory. If anybody crosses that territory, they take them, they kidnap them, and they go through all their contacts and say either you send us money or we kill this person. There's so much people don't care because they don't feel anymore. When people have so much pain, right? They get to a point they become insensitive to anything, and do horrible, evil things, right?
Yeah.
And so we need to really look at that and see how does that happen and how can we, help create something where people feel loved and people learn to be kind to each other, right? And trust each other.